G'day, I'm Troy, and this is the Comic Book Movie Collector's Guide, the show about collecting all things superhero cinema. And today we're going to take a gander at Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1 on a Blu-ray, and we're going to try and answer the question, is this DC's best animated movie adaptation? I don't know, what do you say we find out? Let's get into it. Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1 is an animated superhero movie with a runtime of 85 minutes. The film was released on the 22nd of June 2021 on digital download, DVD and Blu-ray with no 4K HD release as of this video. It was written by Tim Sheridan based off the original comic book by Jeff Loeb, with it directed by Chris Palmer. The film was produced by Warner Bros. Animation and DC Entertainment, with it being distributed by Warner Bros. Home Entertainment. It is the 42nd film in the DC Universe animated original movies and the third in the new DC animated Tomorrowverse movies. Look at that cover, that is absolutely beautiful. I love these painted covers. This is a really good one. Very impressed with that, and I also love the fact that it's part of two halves. So if you look at it, put the two halves together, it makes this one complete picture. Great, I love that. On the spine, still going with that whole DC universe thing that they're going, where they all connect up across. Not that I have mine organized like that, which is a little disappointing, I suppose, for me, but I can see if you put them all in order like that, it's probably going to look good. And on the back, another painted cover. Look at that. I think the same thing again. You put the other side back to back and you get this picture, which is such a great idea, especially when you've got part 1 and part 2. So if we look at the disc, nothing special there, unfortunately. This is probably the only letdown of this, is there's just a black print there of Batman. So a little disappointing on that side of things. But overall, like, I'm really impressed with this. They've put a bit of effort into it, and I really think this is a top notch. So for this one, I'm going to give this a score of 9 out of 10. So this movie introduces us to Gotham City, which is currently held hostage by the powerful Falcone crime family and is rife with crime and corruption. When one of the Falcone family is murdered on Halloween, this starts a trail of bodies on each progressive holiday, when a mystery killer begins targeting underworld figures one by one. And it's up to Batman, Lieutenant Gordon, and the DA Harvey Dent to join forces as they race against the calendar as it advances towards the next ill-fated holiday to try and stop the holiday killer.
I hate the holidays.
Wow, how good is this script? This story is so refreshing. It's good to see DC learn from their previous mistakes and stick to the story that it is based off and not stray too much from their source material like they have before, and resulting in some pretty so-so movies. Look, this story is very compelling, a very compelling detective drama that has you sort of guessing all the way through, with just that hint of the superhero stuff to remind you that this is a superhero movie. But look, at its core, it really is a noir detective movie. And not only that, it's all about a young Batman still sort of cutting his teeth and learning that crime fighting is more about detective work than just cracking skulls.
You're using your brain instead of your fists. Good.
So this is by far one of the best Batman animated stories in a long while, and it has you wanting to see part 2 as soon as possible, and that is why I'm going to give this a 29 out of 30. Now, of course, this is an adaptation of the 13-issue comic book limited series of the same name, written by Jeff Loeb and art by Tim Sale. Now, I was planning on reading it before I watched this, but I didn't get enough time, as, trust me, this show takes up a lot of my spare time.
He's a busy man.
From all accounts, the adaptation is pretty spot on as a movie adaptations go, so I wasn't too worried about reading the source material prior. Now, they're sticking with that animation style that they've been doing for like the last couple of movies, and as I said before, I am a massive fan of this style. It just looks so great on screen, and I know some people out there are a bit iffy about it, but yeah, they can go get buggered off as far as I'm concerned, as these movies to me look stellar, and I give it a big thumbs up from me to DC for sticking with it. Nice job, DC. Thumbs up! Now, as far as the characters go, there are some very solid interpretations of the characters in their early days. And in conjunction with this stellar voice cast, which I'll have up here, this makes for an outstanding movie. I mean, look at some of the names up there. For this thing with like Jensen Ackles as Batman, who was just great, and Josh Jamal's Harvey Dent was great as well. I really enjoyed it. But how close is Troy Baker's Joker to Mark Hamill's version? Holy shit. I would be happy for Troy Baker to pick up the Joker mantle and just voice this, like the Joker character, in every movie after this. He was so spot on. I think he did a stellar job. Anyway, they knocked this one out of the park, and for me, I am going to give this a well-deserved 20 out of 20. So, we have some special features, and that includes DC Showcase The Losers, Batman The Long Halloween Part 2 sneak peek, Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 1, and Batman Gotham by Gaslight previews, and 2 bonus episodes of Batman the Animated Series, Christmas with the Joker, and It's Never Too Late. So heaps of special features on there. Now, for me, the Losers short was fun to watch, and the sneak peek at the next movie was good too, to see where they're kind of going with the story and what they're doing. As far as the others go, look, I've seen them all on previous DVDs, and the animated series apps, well, I've got them on the animated DVDs. So nothing extra there really for me, but it's good to see that they're packing these with heaps of extra stuff on the Blu-ray. So for all those features, I'm going to give this a score of 7 out of 10. Now, the critic score came in at 100%, and the audience score was 89%. Wow, that is a great score for the critics and audience scores alike. From what I've seen out there, there is a consensus. The general consensus across the board is very positive, with everyone mentioning how close it is to the source material, and the overall tone that they get in this movie really makes it one of DC's best animated movie adaptations to date. So if we round it up, we are going to get a great score of 9 out of 10. Wow, what can I say about this movie that I haven't already covered in this video already? It is such a great movie, and I really enjoyed watching it. It will be definitely one I'll be watching again very soon. Like a lot of these animated Batman movies, I kind of get pumped to see what they're going to do. And more times than I like, I get to a point where
I feel so let down.
I bet you thought I was going to say disappointed! Look, anyway, now I've never read the book, but I might after this, and I'm really keen to see how this pans out as like who the holiday killer is, as I've got a couple of ideas, but I'm trying to avoid any of, like in my research, I'm just trying to avoid any spoilers.
Oh, don't say anything, no spoilers.
But that's what I love most about this movie, is it has me invested. I really want to see the next one and find out how it finishes, you know, and that's what a great story should do. It should really get you invested in the characters and in the plot.
You're getting too emotionally invested.
Now, for the second film, I hope it's as good as the other one was, because it'll definitely go straight in my top 10 Batman films, or maybe even my top 5. Anyway, this is a great one for me, and there's nothing else I could give it but a solid 20 out of 20. First up is Collectibility. Now, if we look at the collector scale, I would say this would be hell for your novice fan and up, as it has something for everybody. It is probably a must-have for anyone's collection. Now, as far as availability goes, this one is more on your common side of things, as you will have no trouble getting a copy of DVD or Blu-ray at your usual retail outlets. And of course, there is just so many copies of either both Blu-ray or DVD out there on your secondhand markets, like eBay. As far as your average price goes, you are looking at somewhere between $13 to $26 for DVD, and if you're looking at about somewhere between the $15 to $45 mark for Blu-ray. And of course, there's nothing for 4K HD as of this video. Now, for the final score, we get a grand total of 94 out of 100. Holy shit, that's the second highest score we've had here, and it's very well deserved in my opinion. So look, we asked the question, is this DC's best animated movie adaptation? Of course it is. Hands down, one of the best we have seen in a long time. So look, do yourself a favor, go out and get yourself a copy for your collection.
I have a digital copy.
So, if you like this video and you want to see some more of my reviews, why don't you click that one there? Or maybe you want to see some of my collection updates. I've got you covered too. Why don't you click that one there? And of course, don't forget to do the most important things. Why don't you throw me a bat like, and don't forget to hit that subscription button on the way out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.